Welcome to Simple English Spoken, where we make learning English easy, fun, and accessible for everyone. My name is Lily, and I will be your guide as we embark on this exciting journey together. Whether you are a beginner or someone looking to improve your conversational fluency, you are in the right place. In today's lesson, we are diving into an important topic. Can you speak English fluently in 5 months? Yes, you absolutely can. Today, I will show you exactly how to achieve this step by step. The end of this lesson, you will understand what fluency really means, how to achieve it, and how to maximize both your learning time and the quality of your practice. We will also cover some common myths about learning languages and break down the most effective methods to help you succeed. What does it mean to be fluent? Before we talk about how to get fluent in English, let's take a moment to define what fluency actually means. Many people misunderstand the term and think that being fluent means you speak a language perfectly like a native speaker, but that's not necessarily true. In fact, fluency does not mean you have to speak English perfectly. Fluency simply means that you can communicate effectively and naturally without too much hesitation. Imagine water flowing smoothly down a river. That's what fluency in a language feels like. Your words come out naturally, and you don't have to stop and think too much before or speaking. To be more specific, fluency in English means smooth and easy communication. You can speak in a way that flows naturally. Confidence, you feel comfortable expressing your thoughts. Even if you make mistake, conversation ready, you can hold a regular conversation about everyday topic like talking about your days, asking for directions, or discussing your hobbies. It's important to note that fluency is not the same as native level. Perfection, even native speakers make mistakes. From time to time, the key to fluency is communication. If you can communicate your thoughts clearly and understands other, you are fluent even if you don't know every single word in the dictionary or if you make small grammar mistakes. That's okay. We are not aiming for perfection. Here, we are aiming for natural, effective communication. The concept of fluency in 5 months. Now that we know that fluency is, let's talk about how you can become fluent in 5 months. You might be wondering, is that really possible? The answer is yes, but it requires focus, commitment, and the right approach. First, let's clear up a common misconception. Time alone does not determine how fast you learn a language. It's not just about how many months or year you spend learning, but how you spend that time. Someone who studies for 2 hours every day for 5 months can achieve fluency faster than someone who only practice once a week for 5 years. It's about quality and quantity. You need to combine the two for the best result. Quantity: how much time should you invest to achieve fluency in 5 months? You will need to invest a significant amount of time into learning and practicing English. But how? Must time actually exactly? A general rule of thumb is about 600 hours of focused effective practice. That may sound like a lot, but let's break it down. 600 hours over 5 months equals roughly 20 hours per week or on to 4 hours per day. If you are serious about learning English quickly, you will need to commit to practicing every day. Now, you might be thinking 3 to 4 hours a day sounds overwhelming, but don't worry. This don't mean you'd have to sit at a desk and studying grammar for 4 hours straight. In fact, that would be a bad idea. You can split your practice into smaller chunks throughout the day. For example, spend 1 hour in the morning listening to an English podcast while you have breakfast. Use 30 minutes during lunch to review vocabulary or read an article in an English, watch a 45 minutes English TV show or YouTube video in the evening, focusing on understanding the dialogue. Spend another 45 minutes practicing speaking by repeating phrases or having conversations with yourself, friends, or an online language partner. By breaking it up, you make it more manageable and can fit language learning into your everyday routine. Quality: how should you spend your learning time? While the number of hours you spend learning is important, the quality of those hours is even more crucial. You could spend 5 hours a day passively listening to English with no focus, or you could spend one focused, engaged hour practicing specific skills, and the latter will give you better result. So, how do you maximize the quality of your learning focused practice? Don't just passively listen to English. Pay attention actively. Try to understand what's being said. Note Notice how sentences are structured and repeat key phrases out loud to comprehensible input. Make sure the material you are studying is the right level for you. It should be challenging enough to push you, but not so difficult that you feel lost. If you are watching a TV show or reading an article where you only understand 10% of the word, it's to 80%. This will help you learn without getting discouraged. 3. Speaking practice. You must practice speaking if you want to become fluent. Reading and listening are important, but speaking is the only way to develop fluency. Find a language partner or tutor to practice with, or even talk to yourself. Practicing speaking out loud will help you build the confidence and muscles memory needed to speak natural and emotional engagement. The more you enjoy the process, the faster you will learn. Choose topic that interest you and find way to make learning fun. Watch movie you love in English, read about your hobbies, or listen to English music. You don't need a huge vocabulary to be fluent. One of the biggest myths about fluency is that you need to know thousands and thousands of words to be fluent. In reality, you only need around a 4,000 common words. I am hold everyday conversation in English. Think about it. In daily life, we mostly talk about common everyday topic like the weather, food, work, family, and hobbies. You don't need to know advanced vocabulary like metamorphosis or subatomic to have a normal conversation. A smaller, more focused vocabulary is much more effective than trying to memorize thousands of words you will rarely use. Start by mastering the most commonly used words and phrases in the English. You can gradually expand your vocabulary as you go, but to get fluent in 5 months, focus on learning words that will help you communicate right away. The power of learning. Train your ear to understand English. Listening is one of the most powerful tools for learning any languages. When you listen to English, you are not just learning vocabulary, you are also training your ear to understand the natural rhythm, you know, intonation, and flow of the language. This is critical for the fluency. Spend as much time as you can listening to English. You can listen to podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube videos, TV shows, or movies, music with lyrics. The more you listen, the more you will start to pick up on how native speakers connect their words, which will help you improve your own speaking skills. But remember, passive listening is not just enough. You need to actively listen, pay attention to how words are pronounced, how sentences are structured, and how native speakers express themselves in different situations. Speaking with confidence, don't be afraid to make mistakes. One of the biggest barriers to fluency is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners are afraid to speak because they don't want to sound silly or say the wrong things. But here is the truth. Mistakes are the necessary part of learning. In fact, the more mistakes you make, the faster you will improve. When babies learn to speak, they make tons of mistakes. They say words wrong, they mix up grammar, and they mispronounce things, but they keep trying and eventually they become fluent. You need to adopt the same mindset. Don't be afraid to speak even if you are not 100% confident in your grammar or pronunciation. Remember, fluency is not perfection. Fluency means being able to communicate effectively, even if you make mistakes, as long as people understand what you are trying to say. You are on the right track. To help you build confidence, start by practicing in a low pressure environment. Talk to yourself in English at home. Practice with a friend or use language apps where you can speak with people from all over the world. For the more you practice, the more you comfortable. You will become. Repetition is the key. Train like a champion. Think of language learning like a training for a sport. If you want to become a champion athlete, you have to practice regularly and with intensity. The same goes for learning English. When athletes train, they don't just try a new skill once and move on. They practice it over and over again until it becomes second nature. You should approach language learning the same way, repeatedly until it becomes a natural part of your vocabulary. This is called spaced repetition, and it's one of the most effective way to remember new information. Here is how you can use repetition in your daily English practice. Oh, review vocabulary regularly. every day review the word and phrases you learned the day before. Use flashcards app like Mini Anki, Duolingo. Write them down in a notebook and go over them at different times of the day. To use new words in sentences as soon as you learn new words. Use it in a sentence. Try creating different sentence with the same word throughout the day. For example, if you learn the word opportunity, try saying things like, "This is a great opportunity to learn English. I had the opportunity to meet new people. Today, there is an opportunity to practice English in this conversation." 3. Practice speaking out loud. Don't just think the sentences in your head, say them out loud. This help you get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English and build your confidence. The more you practice speaking, the smoother and more natural it will feel. Revise old lessons. As you continue learning, go back to previous lessons and review them. Language learning is not just a straight line. You need to revisit material multiple times to truly master it. Remember, repetition is not boring. It's how we train our brains to absorb and retain new information. The more you repeat a word or phrases, the more easily it will come to mind. When you need it, immerse yourself in English, surround yourself with the language. Immersion is one of the best way to learn new language quickly. When you immerse yourself in English, you force your brain to constantly engage with the language, which speeds up the learning process. You don't need to move to an English speaking country to immerse yourself in. When you learn a new word or phrase, don't just look it up once and move on. Use it by surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. Here are some practical ways to immerse yourself in English. No matter where you live, change your environment to English. Set your phone and computer to English. This is a small but powerful step. By changing the language setting on your devices, you will get used to reading and navigating in English throughout your day. Watch TV shows and movies in English. Start with subtitle in your native language if you need them, but over time switch to English subtitle and eventually no subtitle at all. Pay attention to how people speak and try to repeat sentences out loud. Listen to English podcasts or audiobooks. Choose topic that interest you so you stay engaged. Listening to English while you are communicating, exercising, or doing household chores and can make a big difference. There are podcasts for every interest, whether it's storytelling, news, comedy, or educational topics. Create English zone. Investigate certain times of the day or certain areas of your home where you only use English. English, for example, when you are in the kitchen, try to think and speak in English about what, what you are doing. I'm making a sandwich, or I need to buy some apple. When you are relaxing in living room, read an English book or watch an English video in the morning. Listen to an English news update or practice vocabulary. These small changes build up over time and make a big difference in how comfortable you feel with the language. 3. Finds an English effective community. Even If you don't live in an English speaking country, there are still many ways to find people to practice with. You will likely find that English has become a natural part of your daily life. You will think in English, speak with more confidence, and understand more than you ever thought possible. That's the ultimate reward, not just fluency, but the ability to connect with others, understand new culture, and express yourself in a new language. In the end, remember that learning a language is not just about reaching a final destination. It's about enjoying the small victories along the way and discovering the joy of being able to communicate in a new and powerful way. To keep going, stay positive, and most importantly, believe in yourself. You have got this. Good luck on your journey to fluent English fluency.